Hey friends, before you go on that green card, things are starting to get really interesting with U.S. immigration. Can Donald Trump give you a green card? Hey guys, before you file for your spouse, Hey there, friends. Good afternoon. Come on in, join today's live session. It's Monday, August 26th, and we are going to have maybe about 15 minutes together today, guys, for today's Q&A because we're very busy here at McBean Law, where we're working on not only our complex cases for our clients across the country and in other countries, but we're also working very hard on our parole in place cases for the families who will benefit from this opportunity. So just join in. Hey there, Kwaku, say freedom now. Hey there, Roosevelt, thank you for being with me. Come on in, say hello, say where you're joining from today. And I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Abigail, it's always very nice to see you. Cola, thank you for being here. Nicholson, the usual friends, the usual family, I should say. You're here. You're here. Stephanie, good to have you here. Musa, thank you so much. At McBean Law, friends, you can start your PIP journey while it's still available. By going to our website at mcbeanlaw.com/PIP, PIP, parole in place, keeping families together, whatever you want to call it. We're starting the process with you with our short intake form, and if we think that you might be qualified, you will have a follow-up discussion with someone on our team so that we could get you going immediately. So the latest, friends, just before we get started with your questions, is that the injunction has not been issued yet or signed by the judge in Texas as of today, August 26th at 1:03 p.m. Eastern Time. It's still pending, and the update that we have from my association, the American Immigration Lawyers Association, is still the same, and it says that at this time USCIS continues to accept applications for this process and that things could change in the near future. No one really knows what the near future is. With litigation, things can be a little unpredictable sometimes. And so we're all watching to see how this will play out. In the meantime, behind the scenes, firms like ours, we're working very hard to prioritize these cases so that you do not miss this opportunity. So reach out to us at 888-462-4006 or start by filling out our little form, mcbeanlaw.com/PIP. So now with that being said, and then the other latest is that today a group of immigrants, I believe there are maybe about 6 of them, filed to intervene in this lawsuit. They want to join this lawsuit and have their perspective, their stories put out there on the record, fighting this. So that attempt to intervene was filed today. The government has not responded yet. I suspect that it will happen very soon, but the government has not yet responded to Friday's lawsuit. I'll be sure to keep you guys in the loop as things develop. All right, thanks. Hey there, Jordan from Texas. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Someone says that I am currently waiting for my CBP results. Okay, FOIA. I had a case for domestic violence back in 2008. It was dismissed. I am being advised to submit PIP without the record. My date of entry is not very straightforward. So Yadi, you can certainly speak with a lawyer about I don't know who's advising you. I don't know what the story is there. If you for this process, you have to be able to answer on that form I-131F, when did you begin your continuous physical presence in the United States? You really need to be able to hone in on that, or even the approximate date. You've got to do that. It's tricky because you're saying, well, I don't even know that. So, and you're waiting on your FOIA record to come in, but the question is, well, as you're waiting on your FOIA record to come in, it's quite possible that an injunction can be issued during this process. I would say that have a one-on-one discussion with the lawyer or even with us about what the strategy is. But certainly it's a good idea to get your case processed, filed, submitted as soon as you possibly can. That is really the message today, is to try to move your case along very fast. Someone says Sahir is asking, or Sahar. We had a Sahar on our team years ago. Sahar is asking, will the election affect approvals of the I-130 application? Sahar, I don't think so. If so, let's do it this way. What we know, certainly from experience, is that when Donald Trump was president, he slowed down the I-130 process for those in a family preference category. Remember those days? Folks were waiting for visa. There were no appointments available for many people. There were bans and other things going on. And so those were by policy during those days, they did slow down those I-130 cases. And certainly if he returns, I could see something like that happening again. I could definitely see something like that happening again if he wins. Okay. Thank you. I see that Marie is on from Massachusetts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Edgar. Thank you for being here. We're still waiting on responses for our cases. We are waiting on our responses for the cases that we filed last week. Yes, we're still waiting. Thank you from South Carolina. Let's see. Ali is asking, as a U.S. citizen child, do I have to wait until I'm exactly 21 years old to file for adjustment of status for my mom? I will be 21 next year. Yes, you'll have to wait until you're 21 to submit the case to the government. If you submit it before turning 21, they will reject your filing. I adopted my grandson in the Caribbean, I think. What can I do to get him in to the Virgin Islands? Well, the adoption, so there are some nuances that you should be aware of about how the process works for those who adopt children. We would want to know how old he is, how old your grandson is, and some other facts to determine whether you're eligible to bring him here through an I-130 process or another way of coming here. So have an appointment with us so that we could go deeper into those rules for the adoption process and green card process, I should say. Nadia is asking a question that I've been getting this weekend also on social media, that they have appointments coming up for Wednesday with her lawyer. And I don't know if I will make it. Should I wait or do it myself? If you have an appointment with your attorney, and obviously you might be saying, well, she's going to definitely say go have your appointment because she's a lawyer and she wants us to come in and see her or McBean Law. So she's going to be a little biased. So here's an unbiased feedback with respect to that. As I've said this weekend, time is of the essence. You could contact your lawyer's office and see whether you could get an appointment in sooner, or whether there's an intake process that you could begin so that the attorney can immediately today begin evaluating your case and see what the docket is for that attorney to see whether they can move you in faster and reprioritize some things on the attorney's plate. At least make an attempt to contact that firm to let them know that yours is a PIP case, and you heard about the lawsuit and that you'd like to know if there's any way that you could speak to folks sooner. We're also doing the same thing here at McBean Law, just so you know. We're evaluating, even today, I'm waiting on a list of names to come to me from our legal support team of those who are waiting on my calendar to see with me, so that I could make a determination about what I can and cannot do to evaluate things much faster for them. So that's one way that you could approach that. Certainly, if the lawyer says that you're eligible for this, immediately have ready to go the evidence that you're going to need for this filing, so that you will not waste any time trying to gather the evidence after your Wednesday appointment, or if the lawyer could take you sooner, great. All right. Thank you, Freedom Now. California, thank you for being here. Las Vegas is in the house. Thank you to all who are watching. Today, we're only going to have a 15-minute session. Okay. Thank you very much. If my lawyer entered incorrect information, I thought I answered this earlier this weekend, that I need to check in with one of my colleagues about how to make these corrections on the I-131F. I'm not entirely certain how the corrections are made. I'll have to check with someone on my team about that. Thank you. Freedom Now. Raise your hands. Raise your hand says, can a U.S. citizen file for an adult who overstayed on the visa? Yes, the U.S. citizen parent can file for an adult son or daughter who overstayed in the United States, and they'll fall into a lengthy wait in a certain category. Several years they're going to be waiting. The process, however, will involve a waiver down the road. Right now, that adult son or daughter seems to be eligible for it because they have a parent who is a U.S. citizen. Once that waiver is approved, then you complete your embassy process or consular process, and that adult son or daughter will need to leave the United States to finish at a U.S. embassy abroad. Okay, so that's how that process will work. But certainly get your son or daughter in line. Get them in line right away. I don't think there is for the military PIP, which we don't do a whole lot of, just so you know, we don't. My understanding is there's not a rule that says you must have been enrolled in the military or enlisted for X period of time in order to be eligible for this. There's nothing like that I've ever seen. So if you're eligible for this process, the military PIP process, immediately get that going. Although that's not something that you need to really be concerned about going away anytime soon. That one is not the big concern. The big concern is the PIP program involving spouses of U.S. citizens, their stepchildren, and widows and widowers. All right, thank you. Genesis is asking, any recommendations for a person who is undocumented with a removal order, who is not married, therefore she does not qualify for PIP. However, she has been in this country for 23 years. 23 years in the country, undocumented with a removal order. So in order to get over this barrier that is in your life right now, Genesis, of removal order and being in undocumented status, something has to change that would make you eligible for a green card, either on the family side or on a humanitarian side. And once that change occurs in your life, then you could seek a joint motion to reopen and terminate the removal case, so that you could finish your process and get your green card after 23 years. Something has to change that makes you eligible for a green card. Thank you, Freedom Now. Come on in, say Freedom Now. We're having a short live session today because we're really swamped here with our PIP cases and other work that we have to do. Thank you. Hey there, Wesley. Thank you for being here. Let's see, someone is asking, Jordan is asking from Dallas, misdemeanor, Class C as juvenile. Should I file for PIP? Have a discussion one-on-one with us so that we could talk a little bit more about what this Class C, this misdemeanor is, because the Federal Register also says that despite the fact that a particular crime is not a felony, these particular crimes will disqualify individuals from this parole in place process. So don't put your personal information on here, Jordan, about what this is all about. Have a one-on-one discussion with us so that we could go down a little deeper, okay? Thank you very much. Can anyone file for PIP while having a social security number? So the I-131F does ask you to tell the government what your social security number is if you do have one. Some people have a social security number because perhaps they had applied for, maybe they have DACA or TPS, right? They're eligible also for PIP if they meet the other requirements. Other folks have a social security number because perhaps they applied for adjustment of status in the past and they were eventually denied because they weren't eligible for it. So they still have a social security number. Other people, on the other hand, get a social security number through a fraudulent way. And as a result of having that social security number, they now need to answer truthfully on this form. What is that number? Tell us what that number is. Now, so if you had obtained a social security number in a way that was not lawful, absolutely speak with an immigration lawyer to talk about what the risks are of whether you should move forward with PIP or not. Freedom Now there, thank you. Freedom Now, Simone from Brooklyn, Nadia, Agnes, good morning or good afternoon. I just got married. Is there any way I could still apply for I-131 parole in place, which is I-131F? When you say you just got married, did you get married after June 17th, 2024? If that's the case, then you're disqualified from this. However, you might still be eligible for traditional family marriage process. So speak with us about what you can do potentially. All right, thank you. I have not heard of any cases being denied yet for this. We haven't gotten any denials, of course. So, but no, I have not heard about that. But who shared, where are we going to hear that from? TikTok. If you want that kind of information, go watch TikTok videos because people will share what they're going through. Okay, so stick to TikTok for that reason. Mark, thank you for being here. Freedom Now. Freedom Now. What can happen to the applications of PIP/PIP if the judge stops the program? So what I could only speak on honestly, and I was very cautious about this weekend during live sessions that I had on social media, because lawsuits can take various can develop in various ways, all right? So I'm trying to be careful not to do too much prediction. But what we do know, historically speaking, is that typically those in the system have an opportunity to keep things going. Now, what's on the table certainly wants to be able to shut things down. They just want this to go away, right? They want this to go away permanently, entirely. Now, typically the injunction is usually incremental and step by step, and it's never usually major drastic steps that could impact every single person, particularly those who already have their applications in, which is why lawyers are saying that you've got to try your best to get this done now. We've told our clients now. That's it. 3 letters, now. Nothing else, now. So that's what we're aiming for. Hey there, Kwame. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Someone says that I have a PD from the asylum that was administratively closed. Is there any way to get a green card? Did you have a lawyer working with you in removal? Because if you did, that lawyer should have told you based on your circumstances, your history, your background, what your situation is and what's available to you. In order for me to answer this question, I will need to evaluate your background and learn things about you. So if you'd like a serious discussion with us about this, book an appointment with our office, okay? Yes, thank you. Freedom Now. The work permits, view visa work permits, I want to say, is it 4 years? That because our U visa work permits are being approved. The processing times that we're seeing is 8 months to a year as far as the U visa work permit processing. And I want to say maybe 4 years. I remember glancing at one recently. Well, maybe not that recent. If it was recent, I would have been able to tell you with more precision. But I think it's 4 years, okay? Thank you, Freedom Now. Thank you, Freedom Now. Freedom Now. Would two entries into the country affect someone for being eligible for PIP. Have you applied already, by the way? Out of curiosity, have you applied for this? Considering the fact that there are 2 entries, and when folks say 2 entries, 3 entries, normally they're speaking about illegal entries. And you're, like I have been saying, you could work with someone who's saying something completely different. This issue is completely split among us attorneys. I don't think that you're eligible for PIP, okay? You're welcome, Wesley. Thank you so much. Thank you. Sam is asking, what would be the best option for a person who overstayed here and wanted a legal status? Sam, you will need to start by going on USCIS's website to learn a little bit about the different categories of green card pathways, I should say. You could also start by watching my playlist on pathways to a green card for those who overstay. I have some really amazing, I think. I haven't been pushing out that kind of amazing content lately because things are different. It's harder now with a bigger team and stuff, more clients, but very good videos from maybe about 2 years ago, series on overstay visa options, overstay pathways. And so take a look at some of those, read some blogs, and just begin learning some things. An immigration lawyer can evaluate your background, but learn some things before you invest in a consultation so that you wouldn't walk away feeling like, oh, I wasted my money. She told me I'm not eligible. Just learn some things first on your own before doing that. Can someone, Pastor is asking, Pastor Kweku. Kweku is a name that it can be spelled in so many different ways, right? I've seen it in so many different variations, normally from West African countries, Ghana, maybe Nigeria too, and some other countries. Can someone file for a work permit if they have been in the country for 20 years? Yes, Pastor, if they're eligible for it, if they're otherwise eligible for it. Thank you. I did answer Ramon's question about the multiple entries. Thank you for the super chat. Charmaine says, my daughter filed, to look at the time here, I've got to go shortly. My daughter filed for me the I-130 and it's been approved, but they sent back the I-45 with a green paper. What should I do? So they rejected the I-45 adjustment of status process. I'm not certain why they've rejected it. Could it be that maybe the filing fee was incorrect or an incorrect form was used, maybe an older version? Something is going on there, but they certainly reject it. Take a look at what the explanation is for the rejection and see if there's a way that you could cure it. And if you can cure it, just do a refiling. Thank you. Someone says, and I knew this was coming, my PIP appointment is actually with you and it's next month. For those of you who have been trying to get in with me, you know how difficult it has been. I'm just going to let you know it has been. I've been very busy. Calendar is what it is. We're making, Sergio, I'm going to look for your name. I don't know if that's your name, your real name, but I'm waiting on, like I said earlier, a list of folks who are waiting for me who potentially are qualified for PIP, because I'm actually only meeting with qualified folks because I need the time to just meet with qualified folks. So if you're on the list and you have gone through our PIP intake, and I've looked at it and evaluated it and determined that you might be qualified for it, we're going to try to see if we could do something to get you in sooner, okay? Thank you. Oh, I knew that was coming. I opened the door. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Sergio. Hopefully you qualify and we can meet. All right, let's keep going. Any updates for asylum seekers? I do not have any updates for asylum seekers, other than to say to other people who are thinking about applying for asylum that you should absolutely make sure that you're evaluated before you do so, because asylum is not the easy way to a green card. It could really land you in removal proceedings, and then you have bigger problems to think about. So not most people who apply for asylum are not approved for it. So be sure to know what you're doing, okay? Let's see. Anthony says, with this parole approval, then an I-130 petition approved. What kind of green card will I get? Is there a such thing as a temporary green card or permanent green card? So Anthony, such a great question, right? You're going to get, if your case goes all the way till the end and you're approved, you should be getting a 10-year green card. All right, a 10-year green card. Friends, I'm going to have to jump off now. I will do other lives maybe later on today on social media. Follow me on TikTok, also on Facebook and Instagram. If I had not gotten to your question today, during this session, certainly chime in later. We are pretty busy here and our clients come first, but I'm trying to get you guys some information as well. Reach out to us, go to McBeanlaw.com/PIP, fill out our form to begin the process with us to see whether you might be eligible for this. If you are eligible, act now. For everyone else who have other immigration problems, book a consultation with us so that we could go deeper and see how we might be able to assist you. Guys, thank you so much for being with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.